This is a special edition of Late Night Health. I'm Mark Allen. We're going to go to, I think, the South someplace. We're going to talk with our friend Tucker Perkins. We've done this several times before in the last couple of years. Tucker, welcome to Late Night Health.
Mark, it's really great to be back with you. Thank you.
You are the CEO of the Propane Education and Research Council, and we're going to be talking about the benefits of propane-powered buses. Why is it important for us to have propane-powered buses other than diesel, which stink, and they're not so environmentally friendly?
Well, I think that's the least reason is that they stink. We now know what's in that stink and that cloud of black smoke that, is not good for the children, not good for the community, not good for the earth. And if they would choose a propane-powered school bus, that cloud of black smoke is gone. So that's what we're here to talk about. As we think about back to school season, we're talking about making this diesel's last decade and make this the time to start going back to school with a propane-powered school bus.
One of the things that I know about propane is that it's good for cooking. And so, I used to have a propane-powered barbecue. But there's so much more we can do with propane than just, cooking outdoors.
Yeah, well, 50 million homes have a propane-powered grill. So to your point, you're right. But there are 22,000 propane school buses operating across this country today. But there are 500,000 diesel school buses. So we have a long ways to go. But just think about it. You've been behind that diesel school bus, picked up the children, pulls away, cloud of black smoke. That black smoke contains all kinds of harmful pollutants, harmful for the lungs, the precursor for asthma, all kinds of respiratory distress. Those buses are louder. We can choose propane, and that cloud of black smoke is gone. The child gets a better, cleaner, safer, healthier ride to school.
What about mileage with propane?
Fleet managers tend to talk about cost per mile. We love to talk about that as well because in moving from diesel to propane, the costs are cut in half. In fact, if we could take all the diesel buses in this country and have them operate on propane, we'd save enough money in operating costs alone to put 23,000 teachers into the classroom. Gives you an idea of the order of magnitude. But as I talk to school systems that are well on their way to 100% use of propane, they talk about, first off, hiring teachers. They talk about fixing the roof, perhaps better instruments for the band, more computers. It's wonderful to hear them talk tangibly about what they did with the savings.
Where do we get propane from? It is an oil product, is it not?
Propane is exclusively first a domestic fuel, right? It is either the lighter thing in an oil well, the lighter thing from natural gas or the heavier thing from finding oil. You're in California where you still have a little bit of oil drilling. So we get a little bit from cleaning up oil, but most of it today in the U.S. comes from cleaning up natural gas. And we export about 70% of that propane to other countries. We only consume about 30% in the U.S. And this is a classic example to take a domestic fuel with great benefit and use it to improve our own lot here in the U.S.
Why don't people know about it?
Well, fleet managers have been really reluctant. I think they love the status quo. But we're changing that every day, right? Fleet managers now, as I said, 22,000 buses operating it. So most fleet managers have a friend who made that switch. They made that switch 10 years ago. And so now the literature is quite clear that going from diesel to propane is the right thing to do. Good for the fleet manager, good for the school, good for the child, good for the community. And really, as you sit in L.A., I might even offer that today modern conversation is about should we choose propane or should we choose a battery electric bus? That's the modern conversation.
I like the idea of electric, but buying, for example, an electric car costs 30-40% more than the same car that's gas powered. What about the cost of a propane powered vehicle?
And first, let me say, everything you think about a battery electric car is magnified as we talk about a battery electric school bus or a battery electric truck. So your 30 or 40% just became 300 or 400%. So an electric bus costs almost 3 or 4 times more than a propane bus. And at the end of the day, both are good options for America and for students and for the communities. The real benefit is getting rid of those diesel buses faster, so we can do it 3 and 4 times faster by choosing propane over electric. And that's really the difference today is getting rid of these 500,000 diesel buses that litter our streets, put black clouds of smoke out, and aren't good for our children.
If somebody listening is interested in learning more about propane and they want to go to their school board and say, hey, let's change our buses, where can they find out more about the Propane Education and Research Council?
And that's exactly what we want people listening today to do, to want to engage in this conversation. But to engage, they have to learn more. We created a website. It's called betterourbuses.com, specifically for parents and consumers to learn more about this story, to learn the facts, to learn how to engage, where to engage. And that website, again, is betterourbuses.com.
Listen, Tucker, I look forward to our next conversation and an update from you.
I would love to come back and talk to you about what we're doing really across California and across this country as we even change from propane to renewable propane. It's a fascinating story. And that's step 2. The first step is to get these buses operating on propane.
Got it. I'm Mark Allen. This is Late Night Health.